Alright, so I want to share really quick a system that I've been developing that allows you to abstract away the output of other SCAD systems so that you don't have to have a single project or Git repository that you're copy pasting a whole bunch of other people's SCAD that they're writing into yours so that you can actually render what you want to do, and also allow you to do things like, inject parameters into other potential SCAD places. So if you think about it from this perspective of, you have a wrist and fingers of a robot or a prosthetic, and you have to be able to write an assembly script that would essentially allow you to have switch between different types of fingers and scale them and do all that, and then you want to match the wrist needs to be fixed, and then the arm needs to be adjusted as well. And although those exist in external SCAD repositories, and you just want to mess with the resulting STLs, and you want to tell those other repositories, I want you to render using these parameters. So what I've designed is kind of an abstraction that allows you to do something like this. So you can define your assembly script, what type it is. I've designed this so that I can add in other types like CoffeeSCAD, OpenJSCAD, etc. You define what are the packages it requires, like a finger or this finger or whatever. You tell it what that file is and what type it is, so that it knows how to render it. And then this is designed also so that I can, and I've already started working on adding in like pointing to a Git repository that could also have its own config internally that it would run. So it would actually could kind of cascade and go get more and get more and get more of dependencies and pull that in and render that. And then also the parameter sharing, which is important, where there's like the global parameter that's injected into both of these. There's a require level parameter, so if you want to modify a specific thing about a specific required package, and then a general like top level parameters that you can pass to the builders if you want to do things that are specific to a specific builder. So let's go ahead and see this running. So right now, first I want to show you that it did render. I have done a rendering pass, and then I'm going to go ahead and actually show you that's going to get cleaned out, just so that I'm not faking it. And so as you can see in this folder, there's no files. And then if we were to, and then what we can do, if I keep jumping around, is we're going to go ahead and run my integrations, which are, I don't know if I like that name, but it just came out. And you'll start seeing output from OpenSCAD. So right now everything is like dumping to console so that I can actually see output. And so you'll see this test is failing only because I tell it to. It actually is verifying that the STL files have been created, at least in that they exist. And then you can see like you get OpenSCAD output after running this test, and then you get a couple things. So you can see this is the actual like subprocess call to the OpenSCAD. So that's what the system does, is it abstracts away how to interface with builders and how to basically add ordering and add the ability to get the SCAD files from things that are not local. So right now it works with things that are local, but you could also point them to, you could actually point this to other places on your own system, write those paths into the config. You could write those paths in there. Anyways, so let's go ahead and see what that actually looks like, so we can actually see the difference. So if we want to import this mesh, and we look at the main STL, we're gonna go okay, and look at it, and you're like, okay, like what's the difference? And then you're gonna say, oh well, look at this one. So this was rendered with a different set of parameters, and it's just still in memory, which is why I'm able to show the difference. But that 14 that I changed, or I didn't change, but in the config there was a 14 in there for like the cube width, and this cube is actually rendered with that, and the parameters have been injected. These STLs were pulled together. So that's tailorSCAD. Code is on GitHub under Savory Watt. I'll be releasing more and continuing to work on it, because I feel like this is going to actually power a couple other projects I have in mind, both with like allowing Octoprint to, when you edit STL file or edit SCAD files in Octoprint, eventually it can recompile them essentially through the web interface. You can get some cool things going on so that you can see your stuff change. So that's it. That's what I've been working on in the evenings, and I hope you like it. I'm going to be soliciting feedback for what the next rendering system should be that I should work with. Anyways, thanks for watching.